Radio Love Oldies.com. Órale.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Crystal Marie from Barrio Love Oldies, and you're tuning into the Barrio Love Oldie podcast, and you are tuning into episode number 26 with none other than Monibee and Richard G. Welcome to our podcast.
How you doing? What's going down?
I'm super excited to have you guys on.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just a little background story just for the ones that are tuning in. I met Moni, I want to say when I first started Moni, 10 years ago, probably 10 years ago, because you were on the radio at that time, right? You were doing radio. And I never had the opportunity to tell you, and I want to take this opportunity to tell you, I had just first started Barrio Love Oldies when you reached out. I think I had only been probably a few months. And just when you reached out, it just made me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Like I am fulfilling my purpose. And I just want to thank you for your encouragement and for reaching out, because it meant everything to me. And you don't know that, but it did. And I remember I was so excited, oh my God, somebody that works on the radio reached out. And it was super special. So thank you so much for that. And I'm getting all teary-eyed already, and we haven't even started.
Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. No, I didn't know that. And I still have my radio show. I'm still part of Oye Tu Radio. And we're part of Oye Productions. So I reached out to you because I just love I love for women to come together and be strong and encourage each other. And I remember when you were starting, and that's why I reached out to you to say, hey girl, you know what? You're doing well.
And now I'm number 26 all the way to 100, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And I want to go ahead and get right into the interview. I don't want to waste any time. I know the listeners are here to hear your story. And let's start it off with, where are you from, born and raised?
I'm born in Juárez, Chihuahua, Mexico. Soy mexicana hasta el nopal. I came to this country when I was about six years old. And so I was raised in the area, we'll say up north a little bit in the camps. And then the rest of my teenage years were here in the Inland Empire, the west side of San Bernardino. Born
at County General, LA. It's all around East LA and LA for my younger years. Ended up, we moved all over the place. My parents were like nomads. So, but Norwalk was where I spent most of my younger years, out there. And when I had to do what I had to do in the hood and all that, but moved up north for a while. And I got that flavor, that musical flavor from the Bay Area. That was when I was in around elementary to junior high. And I had cousins up there, and I had that flavor, Came back down to LA, and just did my thing, domesticated for a while, and realized, man, I got to chase this music and I started doing gospel music when I was 18.
Wow.
And then I got into the business around 23. I made a shot at it. It was hard because homeboys don't sing, but I didn't give a damn. I did what I wanted to do. You got to follow your heart in spite of your surroundings and your situation.
True. What kind of music did you guys grow up listening to?
I grew up listening to Mexican music, man. That's why I'm the mariachi, he's the gangster. I grew up listening to Javier Solís, Amalia Mendoza, who's my idol and my biggest inspiration, Amalia Mendoza, que en paz descanse. And, José Alfredo Jiménez, Los Trios. That's what I grew up with. And then on my mother's side, then on my dad's side, I grew up with a lot of country. He was big into country and classic rock. So, in my home, you could hear everything from Javier Solís on one side to Tammy Wynette on the other. But my biggest inspiration and what I have in my heart and my forte is la música mexicana.
Nice.
Yeah, I had just my dad was like a DJ. When he was in the army and he was overseas, and when he was in New York. It opened his mind. He was a young boy from El Sereno. You know what I mean? And when he saw everything he saw, and he collected records from all over the world and brought them back home. And Pop's tough. And my biological father, Joe, he was a musician too and a singer.
Wow.
So I got it from both of my fathers, you know. And but he had his record collection. We lived in El Sereno at the time, you know, and one of those little turntables back there by the window. And he says, and I said, Pop, can I listen to your records? Because he knew I was musically inclined at the time. He bought me my first guitar, my father Richard, and when I was 3 years old. So he says, you can listen to them, but if you scratch one of them, I'm gonna whip your ass, man. So I took care of them, and I made sure they're all put in the proper way and the way he left them. And I got to listen to music for hours. And I'm talking about música mexicana, you know, of course, Chicano style music, you know, the rhythm and blues from the 50s, you know, big band, African music, you know, Asian music. He had everything. So
wow.
Everything, the Beatles, you know, he had the whole collection of the Beatles. I got to hear it all the time back then. So that was my school right there.
I feel like that has helped you in your like singing career, just growing up with a variety of different music, hearing different genres. I know, Moni, you're saying like Spanish was like very big for you. Just hearing all that, do you feel like it's helped you with your singing career?
When I was younger, Mika, yes, absolutely, because I was able to share the stage with some very big names in the Mexican music growing up. You know, I was singing background for Los Bukis, Los Caminantes, Los Yonix, Los Tigres del Norte, Los Humildes,
wow.
and Beatriz Adriana, some of the biggest names in Rigo Tobar. So yes, you know, my mom. Of course, my mom raised me very Mexicana, so it's always been right here. So absolutely, the influences as a young girl, the Mexican music was what helped me start the career. And I had a great career when I was younger. You know, I mean, I was all over the place, you know, all over Mexico with a lot of these big stars that I'm honored to be able to say that. You know, Ramon Ayala and stuff, that I was able to share that stage with them. I mean, it's a great thing.
So you were singing since you were a little girl?
I started singing professionally when I was 14.
Wow. How did you discover that you had a talent of singing? Like, you just would sing all the time when you were little, or?
Well, yes. And if my mom wouldn't have it any other way, even if I didn't want to sing. No, vas a venir a cantar aquí. Ven, cántales, hija.
Wow.
You know, siéntate, vamos a cantar. And I'd be like, Ma, no quiero. No, siéntate a cantar. So yes, even if I didn't want to, I had to. But I'm very blessed that my mother did that for me. You know, because now I'm here, and I'm having an interview with you, and I've married this man, and because of music, you know, so I mean, I'm very blessed.
Yeah. How did anybody in your family sing, or like how did they know like to choose you to be like, ven y canta por nosotros?
My sister, I have 3 sisters from my mother's first marriage. My sister was a singer, and she used to sing weekly on a local TV station in Tijuana, Mexico, and then also in Juarez, Chihuahua. So my sister used to be, but then she got married, and the husband said, no, you can't do that no more. My mother tried to sing, pero pobrecita, she couldn't hold the key to nothing. But she was a dancer. So I get my dance moves from my mother. My dad had a beautiful voice, but he didn't like to sing, but he had a beautiful voice.
Wow. So did your mom just like, how did you start singing professionally? Like, did she take you to go audition, or how did that happen?
I started with a band. She wanted me to sing, and met the mother of a band leader of a band, which was called Original Sacrifice Band. And my mom was very close to the mother, and said, hey, my daughter sings. She would like to sing. But it was hard because I could only sing like at the private gigs, because I was only 14, 15 years old. So I couldn't sing with them at the bars. because I was lit. You know, I wasn't of age. They did sneak me in a couple.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like.
But so that's where I started singing with the band, Original Sacrifice Band, and that's how I learned, you know, to perform, to be on stage, and I was never shy, so that also helped.
That's awesome. What are some of the artists? I know you mentioned Ramon Ayala, a few other artists. What are like some other artists that you worked with as a little girl?
Well, I sang just about background vocals a lot, and then also, like for example, Los Yonix, they had a very big hit called Rosas Blancas, and just about any group, Mexican group from the 70s and the 80s I sang with. I mean, there was Abril 78, Lorenzo Monteclaro. There's just about any group that you've ever heard, Los Muecas. I sang with. I did some background with them and toured with them, you know.
Wow.
That actually sang on stage as an invited guest. It was, you know, Beatriz Adriana and Juan Valentin, Vicente Fernandez, Rigo Tovar was one of my biggest, I would have to say he was one of my, he took me everywhere, and I would open up for him, and he was very, very helpful to my career. Very, very, very good man.
Wow, that's awesome.
You probably don't know who Rigo Tovar is.
Not Rigo Tovar.
Look him up, Mama, after our interview. Look up Rigo Tovar.
I'm definitely going to look him up.
He was one of the biggest cumbia, tropical artists back in the 70s, early 80s.
Okay. I'm going to have to definitely look him up. What about you, Rich? How did you know that you could sing?
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Doo-wopping when we were holding down the block over there where we were at. And we were holding down the block, and we get bored, we would get high. And we wanted to say, hey, let's start a band, let's just play some oldies and stuff. All these bands that play disco and shit. Right? Is it okay if I cuss them?
Yeah. Go ahead. You're at home.
Well, who's gonna this and who's gonna that? Well, you play this, you play that. So let's see if anybody can sing. Where would I start? So I sang Sad Girl to them. Fuck, homie, you can actually sing. Because most of my life I was trying to learn to sing by myself and at the house. And my family was like, shut up. And you know what I mean? And my mom, she was like, oh, mijo, it's a good thing you try to sing. Because when we would sing our songs, you know, like in the car with my brother, they were too high for me. So I'd sing really low. So it sounded like I couldn't sing. So I went up to myself and taught myself. Because I was playing guitar, you know, and I'd see my dad, he would have jam sessions at our house over there in El Sereno, and he would go to City Terrace sometimes with his compadre, and he would bring me along and let me tag along and just give me a bucket or something to rock, or let me hold my little guitar, you know. And I would watch him jam. They would just jam, you know, and they sounded good, you know. So that inspired me, you know, and watching my father Joe too, that inspired me, because when I would go visit him, he had drums and the bass and guitar, and I knew how to play guitar, so we would do our little jam sessions, you know. And you know, I just had a love for it, you know, and I wanted to learn how to sing, you know. I was playing guitar, I was getting really good, but they stole my guitar when I was 13, and I had Stairway to Heaven down, man. And they stole my guitar. We were too poor to buy another one, so I hit the streets for a while. We did what we had to do. Thank the good Lord. I lived through it, you know what I mean? And when I started getting away from it, I realized I wanted to try to, you know, maybe do something in the, you know, I did gospel music for a while. I lived with my grandmother for a while, and she wouldn't let you live there without going to church. So I did some gospel for a minute, and that trained me, you know. And we used to go down and jam with our Spanish-speaking churches, as well as our churches. There's mostly black brothers and sisters there doing black gospel, man, soul music. So I learned it all, and I jammed with both, you know. And by the time I got out, I was ready to try to get a record deal, you know, by the time I was 22, 23.
And that's because you were singing at different churches. So
yeah, I had the gospel sound, you know, and they call it Chicano soul, or would call it what you want. I always flung the soul music. Even though I love my música mexicana, I love salsa, I love all kinds of stuff, but soul music just kind of hit me pretty hard. And when I gave it a try, I just made a demo. I met a homie, Robert Jackson was the homie's name. And he says, I got a little studio I go to, man. So I go, I'm writing songs, you know, and I showed him, yeah, come on down. So we did my first couple of recordings, and I was hanging out with this guy, rest in peace, a dude named Robert Preciado. We were party buddies, you know. And he goes, hey, man, he goes, I showed him my music. He goes, I like your music. He goes, I know Tony G. And I said, who's Tony G? He goes, he's young MC DJ. I'll go, well, bust a move. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll introduce you to him. He's got a shop in El Monte called Spin It. So I said, all right. I took my little demo, my little tape, you know, took it down there, played it for Tony. And he talked my ears out for like 3 hours. And he says, man, we're going to try to get you a deal. And I met Malaman Ace there at that time. And he was just putting Mentirosa out. And I met Frost, and he had just put La Raza out. And everything at that time started blowing up for Tony G in that camp. And I just happened to be there. It took a minute before they put me on, but I met them in '89. I probably didn't get put on until towards the end of '90 maybe. And then I started singing for their couple of the little artists that never really did nothing. But then he says, hey, give them a call around '92. He says, hey, you want to be on Frost's next album, East Side Story? And I said, hell yeah, put me on, big dog. So I went over there and we did them songs that I did on there. I think we did about 4 songs on East Side Story. And then I started working with other people like Slow Pain, ALT, all the rappers that came through, you know, Fosom, Bugsy, who else? And then, of course, Tony was great friends with Easy E. When Easy came in, he saw what we were doing, and he was like, hey, let's get this rolling. And he started, he brought the Brown side with him and Toker. That's when I met Toker and Big Danger. And man, it's just history, man. You know, it's just, and from there on, you know, I did what I did, and we were just doing what we thought sounded good. You know, we had no idea. I had no idea that it was so big in the barrios that like it was, even down to Mexico City until I was older, you know. Because when Easy died, we were doing so good. I was almost done with my album. I had 2 songs left. And I was doing a song with the Daz Band, actually, a couple of, with the keyboard guy, a good song with those guys. And next thing you know, man, I get the call from Tony, hey, man, Easy's sick. I said, what's going down? He goes, he's got bronchitis. And I said, but he called me from the hospital. He called Tony, and he says, tell Rich to finish them 2 songs off. We're going to be all right. I want to be good. And so I'm finishing them songs off. And about a week after that, it seemed like he was like, hey, man, Easy's in a coma. Tony called me, he's in a coma, bro. I said, what happened? Man, it sounds bad. He's in bad shape. And he died about another week or so after that. He died pretty quick. And all the contracts that we had going at the time, the money that was hanging over our heads and everything, in the trash. Because I guess when his wife took over, she didn't know what to do with us or whatever. They put Bone Thugs out. And my last memory of Easy is being in the G-Spot studio in El Monte, Tony's studio. And Easy was there with the hair all picked out. And he was on the board, and he was bobbing his head and closing his eyes. He was mixing the track. And I was there with DJ Julio G from the, you know Julio G, right, from Heyday. And I said, man, that sounds crazy. What is he playing? He goes, oh, that's a new group. Because we had weights in there, so we're pumping weights. He goes, that's a new group called Bone Thugs and Harmony. And it was Thuggish Ruggish Bone that he was mixing. And
wow.
2 or 3 weeks after that, he was gone. But anyway, you know, he always treated me good. You know, those guys, you know. Now, I ain't going to say everybody in the camp treated me good. It is what it is. And Chicano's got to do better. But I'm proud to be part of that. I'm proud that I'm part of that part of Chicano history in music and cultura.
Yeah, for sure. I think like it's super, like it's something, I think like with Moni, right? Like Moni, you were like, since you were a little girl, your mom, like, you know, putting you to sing, and then you had grew up. But like with Rich, it's like he just had this desire, and everybody would be like, you can't sing, you can't. But then like to be able to work with these artists, like these amazing artists, how did you feel like going from being doubted, like, you can't sing or maybe, whatever, to like saying like, look, now I'm working with these artists. Like,
So
how did you feel?
You're the vapors at home. No, I was like, all of a sudden, you want to hear me sing now? No, no, it's all good. It's how Mexicanos and Chicanos are. We bag on each other. We give each other a hard time. Makes us stronger. I don't hold that against my family. They follow me. They back me up 100%. Now they say, oh, okay, all right. You proved to us that you did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. And like I said, I did my stint, with the gang and all that, and that helped me in that career because when I went to go sing these hooks for these gangster rappers, I knew what I was singing about because I lived it. You know what I mean? And they appreciated that, so they would call me a lot. And they still call me. I just did one with YBE, and I just did another one with a homie coming out called Echelon. A few other homie out in London called El Loco Kozlov. I'm keeping it
wow.
Running. And if they still want to hear me, I'm gonna keep doing it, man. And I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And they pay me to do this, so it's beautiful.
I think it's very encouraging to know, like, and I say that because I always think about our listeners, like, there may be somebody that's tuning in that they have a passion for something and they get doubted, maybe people don't believe in them or whatnot, but you still push through that, both of you guys push through whatever adversities that you guys went through, and look at you guys now, like,
yeah, we're
that's awesome.
We got some history. We both have some history behind us, and
it's cool to put it together, though.
Right, and it's really cool to put it together now as a duet, as husband and wife, as best friends, as
friends to the end,
until the wheels fall off, and that history that we've had, it even has given us more of a bond, But you're right. Richard was more of a desire since he was since he was little, and mine was more how would you say that?
Like implanted with you, like it was already destined, like you already knew, like yeah.
Like they had your husband set up for you already, it was music.
Too bad, girl. You're gonna do music whether you like it or not. Fortunately, I liked it. Yeah. Fortunately, I fell in love with it. Otherwise, it would have been a struggle.
Yeah.
And she did novelas too. Some bunch of novelas.
I did.
Yes, tell us about your novela days, Moni.
Yes, I was at Los Ricos También Lloran with Veronica Castro. That was a very, very big novela. Because in Mexican novelas end, they have an ending. Not like Young and the Restless and As the World Turns, that last forever and ever, 30, 40, 50 years. But anyway, so I did Los Ricos También Lloran, and I was on had a lead in a novela called Yesenia La Gitana. And I was just, it was just a little, I was very young.
Your mom was a good manager, huh?
My mom was a very good manager.
She was a good manager.
Because my mom was managing you.
My mom was my manager, even though she didn't speak English. But my mom was
and her manager. Security guard.
And my security guard. Oh my gosh, Mama, she was my security guard.
Tell us. Tell us.
Well, when we were, when I joined the band, I was very young, and I was a young, pretty little thing, you know what I mean? And my mom was sometimes very overprotective. So if we used to practice in the garage, and she would sit outside the garage in a chair and made sure that she could listen to everything that was going on. And then she would peek to make sure when she didn't hear the music, she would peek to see what we were doing.
Going on.
Oh my gosh, my mom was very protective. But you know what? My mom, at the time, it was kind of frustrating. But she raised a good girl. She raised a good girl. So I'm grateful to her for that.
So am I.
Right?
Well, I want to know, how did you guys two, can you tell us, how you guys connected or the story behind you guys together?
She used to hire my band, the Midnight Cruisers.
I used to manage a nightclub restaurant in San Bernardino called. Well, I already knew who he was. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't know who Rich G is?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
And I knew, the Midnight Cruisers, his band, the Midnight Cruisers. So I was general manager of a restaurant in San Bernardino on E Street. So I hired his band, but I didn't direct myself to him. I directed myself always to
somebody else that used to do our booking for us in the band. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time.
Because I'll go try to say, "How you doing, Monibee?" And she just, "Oh, that's all right. You gotta say hi."
Whatever.
Nah.
And I remember one time, Mama, they were the Midnight Cruisers were at the Santa Fe swap meet, and I remember I was there with my girlfriends and stuff, and they always remind me. I made one comment. I looked up at him, and I looked at him. He's got big old dimples, right? And I said, "He's a cutie pie," and that's all I said. But years went by, and
I was married at the time, so there was nothing gonna happen there. You know what I mean?
And there was just a comment, and then I ended up hiring his band, and I was like, oh wow, and then music brought us together later, Mama. Music brought us together.
I became single, and I was going through something. She was single, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, come to the club tonight, and we're going to be hanging out." Another club used to
another club that I was managing.
He goes, "Monibee's going to be there." I go, "Wait, say it like that? Oh, she got a crush on you." That's what he told me.
What?
And I said, "Oh,
what? I never told him that I had a crush on him. He was just playing matchmaker.
He played matchmaker. So I said, "Well, let's go down and we'll talk and have some drinks." And I didn't have no expectations, and I wound up hitting it off, so.
And I would spoil him when he was there. I would spoil him.
Make sure I had
a beer.
Nice beer and a shot. Whatever, if I was hungry.
Already doing wifey duties, making sure her man's okay.
Felt like Ricky Ricardo with the Copacabana.
And then, you know what? Now that he mentions the Ricky Ricardo and the Lucy, that's what we are. I mean, I'm
in a way, yeah.
Yeah, in a way, we really are. I mean, I'm
that opposite kind of.
I'm the one that's always up to something or doing something or something's going on, and I'm like, babe, help me get out of this, that kind of thing. So it's perfect,
And she keeps me up and rolling. She could I want to kick back and watch the game. Oh, I know that we got to record. Or let's rehearse. You know what? You're right. Because we're not trying to compete with everybody. We're just trying to give the best music, the best shows.
Absolutely.
If people want to compete with us, that's all right. If you want to hate, that's all right. I don't worry about that. I just do my thing, and if you want to hate, then go on. Just don't step on my toes, man. So.
Yeah, for sure. And how did you guys come up with the Gangster and the Mariachi?
Well, we both have our individual careers. He has, Rich G, and then he has his band, Midnight Cruisers, and then I'm, Monibee, and then I have my own band too, the Classic Vinyl Band. And, we're together, we love music. I said, it was Richard's idea, the name. And then we said, hey, well, let's just start doing some things together. Let's do... Mexican Chicanos, Mexican music, oldies, whatever. Let's bring it together.
We're all the same. Back in the days when things were a little more separated, it was different. Things are coming together now with people coming from Mexico and the Mexicano Chicanos that are here already. I think we're trying to come together. In the 80s, I didn't like it because we weren't together like I wanted,
Yeah.
I was used to when we lived up in the Bay Area, everyone was together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we came back down here, it was separated, and I didn't like that, I mean, Mexicano brothers and sisters, man, I loved them,
Yeah,
and I didn't want to fight with them or call them names or anything like that. That wasn't me. I thought it should have been different, but things changed, and we got more and more together. You know what I mean? And yeah.
And we're both songwriters.
So she started writing. Yeah, she started writing. She was, "I'm going to show you this song." I said, "Babe, that's good." I go, "That sounds like a bolero." And she goes, "Yeah, you think so?" I go, "Oh, definitely." I went to our boy. He's my guitarist. His name's Teacher Simo. He got a production team called Simo Hits, or a studio, Simo Hits Dungeon. And we go over there, and that brother, he puts it. We sing it to him. We go over it with him. He puts that music together, and he put that together. And we brought live musicians in to help out. Our friends came and helped us out. Who helped us on that one? Could be the Carmen.
Alex Cardenas.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen Crystal, like on my profiles, about the missing mother out of Colima, Mexico, Maria del Carmen Lopez. I wanted to help. I got very much involved with the family and the children, and I wanted to help more than just share posts and her picture. I said, there's something else that we can do for this family. I don't know what it is, Mama. It captivated me, maybe because the mother's my age.
Yeah.
Esta güerita. I mean, it just, I don't know. I thought about what would my kids do?
She ended up getting close, and also me. I met the family, and we just wanted to help. And when she came out with that song,
so we wrote the song, Querida Carmen.
That is good. I said,
wow.
Beautiful bolero. Nobody's doing bolero. I mean, there's a couple of people online that do them, the remakes, but nobody's writing them that I could remember lately. And so we busted it out. Cesar Timo helped us out. Our friends came to help us out. Who played the congas on that one? Lenny did.
Lenny Hernandez, yes.
Got a lot of love. That's her drummer.
And Denise Dominguez on trumpet.
Oh, Denise. She's our new daughter. We just love Denise.
So,
she's such a talented trumpetist.
So we named the song Querida Carmen, and we wanted to present it to the family. And Oye Productions, the record label, backed us up 100% and said, yes, let's do this for the family. So we presented the song to the family, and we said, we want to release this song, and proceeds of the song will help you in your journey, in your fight, in your to bring her home. Because she has been missing in Mexico, it's kind of difficult to do things from here. And so they needed to do flyers, billboards, and stuff like that. And one of their daughters actually even had to stop working and dedicated herself to this full 100, full time. So we came together. What I do is when I start a song, I bring it. I do the song, the initial lyrics and stuff, then I take it to him because he's the harmony king. And I say, hey babe, I need a chorus, or I need a bridge here, or this. So we sit down and we work together. So every song I started, I present it to him, he adds his thing to it, and then we come together. So it's beautiful because we get to work together and write music together. And that's the song that we first released that brought us as the Gangster and the Mariachi. Querida Carmen.
And we got a chance to do some morning shows and stuff in Spanish, and everything, and we got the word out, and it was, I think we accomplished what we were trying to do. And then the mixing process, Caesar will do a certain mix, and then I'm still with my boy Tony G, Mixmaster Tony G. I shoot it to him. He does mix mastering on it, and it comes. I'm proud of the product we've been putting out. The music we've been putting out.
I think we've been putting out some very good quality, beautiful music. We got a great producer, a great label behind us. Cesar Simo's just amazing, good musicians, and Richard and I, we're still writing. We want to put out a little mini 6-pack. We've already got our next 4 songs.
Yeah. Already
ready. We've already chosen. We're already working on our next single, the next 2 singles.
We're working with the brothers from Chicano Park on our next one. Elder Sam over there, and the people from the Chicano Park Museum, I think, Bradley.
Yes, Samuel.
With them, and
shout out to Elder Samuel.
Yeah. Shout out to my boys from SD. They've always backed up the brown side too. You know what I mean? So a lot of this accumulation of this is why I'm still here, able to do this. So I just thankful to everybody that I'm able to still do this, and they want to see my ass out there doing this shit.
We're just happy, Mama.
Yeah.
We're happy. We're happy doing this. We're happy singing. We're happy writing. We're the inspiration is there. The love is there. So coming together as a team has really inspired us. So we just want to put out good music, Mama. We're not looking for fame. We're not looking to compete with anybody. We're not looking to. We would love to travel. We would love to go to different places, but for now, we're just very happy putting out the great music. I believe, and that we're putting out some really good music.
And we still have our respective careers also. each of our respective careers, and she'll put some stuff out by herself. I'll put some stuff out with my rapper homies, or put my own stuff out. You know, I'm still got to be finishing Barrio Chronicles too. You know,
I mean, don't be surprised if Monibee, I say it, releases something with Banda very very soon.
got another one on the I would just say on the griddle.
Yes.
It's like a guajira, Chicano style guajira, and I call my boy Wicked from the Brown side, and he says, "Let me know." So
it's gonna have some rap in it. It's gonna be some hit, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of this, a little bit of it's rap. I mean, it's gonna be really, really, and it's also an original. That one's gonna be it's a song about karma.
Wow.
So we're keeping busy. Meanwhile, we've moved. You know what I mean? We've been busy with our lives too, but we ain't letting go of that music just yet.
I think that it's a beautiful, I think, you know, like the music, knowing that you guys are writing it and you guys are both writers, that the inspiration behind that is the love that you guys share between one another. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I feel like that's a beautiful thing, because I feel like it's so important, not only important, but just the fact that you guys can work together. You guys have like both things in common, where you guys are, you know, make music, you guys are writers. Like, that's so romantic. Like, that's a beautiful thing.
It's the first time in my life I've had someone that I could do this with, you know what I mean?
Me too.
And who understands.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we respect each other as artists. I respect Richard as an artist. I respect who he is, who he was, who he is, who he's becoming, who he's, you know, all the things that he's done. I respect him as an artist. I respect his music, you know, and his talent. And he does the same thing with me. I mean, we're each other's biggest cheerleaders. So there's not like okay, well, you're doing more than I am, or you're doing more than. There's no such thing as that. It's like, yeah, babe, you go, you know, you do this, and that's how you have to be. So that keeps us.
There's enough haters out there that want to put you down for no reason. But like I said, I don't listen to that stuff. You know what I mean? That's why we back each other up, and we're double strong like that. Also,
haters are a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
You know, I do let them bother me sometimes. I used to.
It's hard. I think it's hard, because it's like, I feel like you know, one thing that I'm learning about haters is, maybe I'm wrong, but I try to convince myself, it's just they're naive to the hard work that it takes to do what we do. You know, they don't know how hard it is. They don't know the sleepless nights of you're writing your music, of you staying up, finding, you know, people to do the instruments and do all that. Or even me, like with the podcast, and, you know, like setting up and driving home from work. Oh, I gotta get ready.
She knows about that.
Yeah, you know, they don't know. And I tell myself, it's because they don't know. That's why they hate, because if they knew what it takes, I don't think they would be so easy to say what they have to say, you know?
Well, they think you're out there, you're doing your thing, and it's looking good, you're successful, and they say, that should be me. I'm like, well, get on your shit, man. You know?
Yeah,
do
work.
your thing, man.
Yeah.
Get out there. Don't be afraid, you know what I mean? Like new youngsters coming up, don't be afraid. Do what you gotta do. But don't just come out and say, I'm a rapper, and you're rapping mush, you know? You gotta work on your craft, you know? You gotta work on your singing, work on your guitar and your horn, work on that, man. You gotta leave the streets alone. Like, man, I'm glad I got away from the street, because then I was able to work on my craft, you know, and hone it in the churches and hone it with the hip hop people. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've been very fortunate, very lucky. And Howard Scott from War is my musical mentor. I met him through Joe Truck in the mid '90s, and he was my hero. And I got a chance to get on stage with him, and I'm playing in one of his bands. They're called the Howard Scott Project, which we also call the All Day Music Band, with Tex Nakamura, who played with War also. And I get to do that, and I was bumping that in my lowrider back in the days, just dreaming back in the days, you know? Why just me? Anybody could do it. You just gotta have desire, and you just gotta do it. and you got to get good with your craft. Don't say, well, I rap good because my homie. No. Your homie doesn't know what he's listening to. Put it out there to a lot of people. And if they tell you, you know what, you could work on this and work on that, don't get huitado. Just take it as a lesson and learn from it. You know what I mean? And I've worked with some of the baddest rappers and great singers also. And I'm not saying I'm that great. I'm okay. I do good. You know what I mean? And I've done well. And because I feel what I think, you know what I mean?
I think, in my opinion, and yeah, people could say it's partial because he's my husband, whatever it is, but I think he's one of the most amazing vocalists in the Chicano industry. I really do. He can sing belt out at this moment, a ballad, and then from one into another. He has an amazing voice. He does. And I just don't think, in my opinion, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. And I'll say that over and over and over and over again because it's the truth. And but there are very few out there in the music that has the voice that he has, and it's versatile, and I could go on, and everybody's gonna say, well, that's her husband. No, it's the truth. And I always admired his voice, but that's why I try not to let haters bother me, but sometimes it is difficult. I put my whole heart into everything. I put my heart into music, into people, into helping people, into guiding people sometimes, because I'm an old lady, you know what I mean? I've been there, done that. But sometimes it does hurt to hear when people say things that are just not true or misunderstood or exaggerated or whatever it is. And I've had my share of haters, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. But he's taught me a lot about letting that go and putting it aside. And I'm not as sensitive to it anymore. I think I'm finally, at this old age, I finally have a turtle shell, and don't let things.
It does hurt when somebody you thought was your friend, you find out that they're stabbing you in the back, but it hurts.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Like, I'm glad I know now. Just go on the other way and just say, stay out of my way, stay out of my life. I'll be all right, and you will be all right.
Yeah.
On my toes, then you're going to see that. You're going to see a person that I don't like to be.
Yeah. I heard I was listening to a podcast today, and he was saying when somebody, take how that person is, like when somebody wrongs you or does something wrong, take it for face value. Mm-hmm. And you don't gotta get mad about it. You don't gotta get upset over it. Just take it for what it is, and take it as if God showed you what that person is really all about. Yeah. And just leave it at that. Don't try to change it. Don't try, because if they're already old enough, they're probably never going to change. That's just how they are, and you just have to accept it and just, distance yourself. Que Dios los bendiga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why one thing that I've learned, Mama, is that, I don't allow anybody to hurt me twice. Because I'm the type of person, I'm too forgiving. And it's just, when you hurt me once, you're not going to hurt me again.
Yeah.
You will not hurt me again. And then that's just come with life. And if someone hurts you, you know what? You write a song about it.
Yeah.
Okay, you write a song about it. And that's what karma's, that's the song Karma, that's what it's all about. Yeah. So I cannot wait for that one.
Yeah. I think for myself, just personally, I feel like I haven't learned that until I became an adult. Like, I didn't know that, hey, like, if they hurt you, you don't have to continue to allow this in your life. Yeah. And I think I learned that very young, because my father was he was a drug addict. Well, actually, both of my parents. So it's like I had to learn how to forgive after, like, just, okay, get over it. They hurt me, it's okay. Like, I just have to forgive them and allow them to continue to hurt me. So naturally with others, like when I would get hurt, I would be like, oh, it's okay, they're family, I could forgive them. Or, oh, it's okay, they're a close friend of mine, I'm not gonna throw this friendship away just because I was hurt. Now it's like, bro, you show me what you're really all about, deuces, I'm out of here. Like, I'll still love you, but I'm gonna love you at a distance. Like,
growing up in the gangster world and stuff like that too, it's hard to get away from orale. That vato that puto over there, but whatever, wow, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I grew up, you know what I mean. I'm not like that no more. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, I'll take care of mine. I'll back up my lady. You know, I'll back me in mine. You know, but I'm not trying to be that way. I'm not trying to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, all right, I know now. You know, and we still make mistakes at our age too. You know, it is what it is. You know, so you got to trim the fat when you can. So.
My husband always tells me, when are you gonna learn, Crystal? You talk a big game, but you gotta apply what you say.
Like we said in the hood, you gotta back your shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I feel so bad because inside I'm like, I don't want to be mean. He's like, but they're being mean to you.
Yeah.
I don't like being mean either, Mama. You know, but sometimes, unfortunately, I don't know if you call it mean or just being a little assertive.
Yeah.
You just have to learn to protect yourself, and it comes to that point where you just, you know, I can't do this to me no more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't let it even penetrate.
But I think haters are our biggest motivators, right? Like that's why we continue to do what we do and push through. And you're gonna continue to make great music. And look at you exploring different genres. What was that?
Girls, when I was younger, that was my motivator too. Oh, you want to diss me? What day? Nah. Yeah, playing football helped me. You know, I started lifting weights. It got me kind of away from being on the streets all the time, lifting weights and playing football. You know, and ended up lifting weights into my 20s and becoming a bodybuilder. You know, I did that thing for a while.
Wow.
If you look at my video with ALT called Riding High, that was when I was still bodybuilding. I was benching 400 pounds back then. And I was in good shape, and it helped me with my temper, and it helped me learn to cope with changing my life from being a gangster to, you know, trying to make something happen, making positive happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying being a gangster is all negative, but there is a lot of negative in that, and the way you got to come up is negatively sometimes. You know what I mean? But you know, we were talking about that the other day. There was a lot of good homies, you know, that took care. Look at Toker before he passed on. He was taking care of a lot of people.
Yeah.
He was a generous brother, you know what I mean? And went down to Mexico City. We did a free concert, and you know, we donated a lot of stuff to the people during the earthquake, you know. And he was about that life, but he, you know, that gangster life, you know, it catches up to you sooner or later, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Moni, I want to ask you, how did your career begin in radio?
My career in radio began with one of my goddaughters, my godson. They're a married couple. They have their own a radio show called Marta y Tere, and then there's Marta's husband is Ratoncito. So anyway, I've known them all my life. I know Marta and Tere all my life. I mean, I've known them since, oh my gosh, since they were 10 and 11. And I was their manager. They used to have a little trio called Trio Cristal. There were 3 sisters. So I was managing them at a very young age. I was managing them. So I've known them forever. And they wanted to start Oye Tu Radio. And they asked me, do you want to do this with us? And I said, sure, I would love it. I did have a couple radio shows prior to them, other Amor y Recuerdos, and then a couple shows at KCAA FM AM radio in San Bernardino. But when they said, hey, we want to start our own radio, I said, well, let's do it. So Oye Tu Radio, we're fairly new. We're only, I think, 4 or 5 years old. So we're fairly new, but we're doing really well. We have a Mexican side, Mexican music, and we have a Chicano side. And I run the Chicano side. The Mexican side is like, oh my gosh, they're like huge. They're at red carpets. They're at the Billboard Awards. They're at the Latin Grammys. But you know, they've worked very hard to get where they are, and they have, you know, big, huge artists that come and interview, and they're like up there, you know, really soaring high. I'm very proud because it's taken a lot of work to get there. So then they said, hey, come over and start. I think when I met you, Mom, I was doing Tejano.
Oh yeah, I don't know where you were at, but you did tell me you were at a radio station, that you were a radio host.
Yes, I was doing Tejano music at the time, and then they said, hey, why don't you break away and let's start the Chicano side of Oye Tu Radio. We're bilingual radio, so that's what I've been doing. We have some great shows. We have Angelina Leon. She's got the Chicana Chingonas y Más. We have Marilyn Aparacio, who has the Untied Ribbon show. We got Liz Anaya, who's supposed to be with me on my show, but she's been going through some things, and we're called the Comadres. We have Johnny Z, has his own show, and then he's also engineer for us. We have Angela McLean, who does a community show, and focuses on the needs of the community. So we're doing good, and we're very happy. I'm very happy with my radio personalities. They go out there and they work hard.
You're so busy. I could imagine.
Yes, I am. And I still work, I still have a job. I'm semi-retired. Yes, we are busy. We're very busy together, and we do a lot of things together. Yes, busy. Yes. I don't know if I couldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean? But I like being home.
Yeah.
I ask Richard.
Sure you do. No.
Come on. I love being home, Mama.
Well, because I lost my son Alvin in 20.
Wow.
I lost Toker, of course. One of my best friends in music. You know what I mean? And I was depressed, and I was going down, kind of. I was keeping myself above water, but just barely. So, this move coming together with Moni. And getting a jolt from her, plugging into her. This girl, she's got so much energy, and I'm like, whoa, we got to get rolling again. I got to get out of this funk that I'm in. And I was still performing, I was still doing things, but I was going down. And this woman came into my life and put a spark in it, and it just sparked me to start, writing more music, and doing the music we do together, and working on my band more, and doing all I can, videos. I met Candy, Carlos Garcia Seves from Candy and Chrome up there in Barstow, and I knew him from the 90s, but I hadn't seen him for years. And next thing you know, I get a DM from Candy and Chrome. I go, maybe they want an interview or something. I used to love their radio station. I had it on all the time when I was working at MTA, And I said, yeah, what's going on, bro? He goes, it's me. I go, who's me? Carlos Garcia Seves. I go, from he had No Company magazine back in the days. I'm like, damn, bro, I haven't heard from you in a long time. What's going on? He goes, well, I'm working on videos. I'm working on movies. And we're doing this and that. And me and him got together, and I listen to I go, what do you need from me? He goes, well, I need music, man. And I said, all right. I go, where you at? Because, I'm out in Barstow. He goes, I'm out in Barstow. And I said, where you at? He was literally right around the corner from me. So he's done a couple of our videos already. We're working on a short film together. Yeah, Carlos, Candy and Chrome. You know what I mean? And it's strange how things happen, Yeah, like the Lord put him there, and we both needed to work with each other, me and Carlos. Mm-hmm. And it's been going good. It's been going really good. So
that's the awesome thing about God, that I feel like God always brings like the right people in our life when we don't even know that we need them,
Yeah. He works in a very mysterious way.
Yeah.
Very mysterious way.
I wanted to ask you both, because you guys have been around the scene for a long time. And I know both of you guys have worked very closely with modern soul artists, a lot of these new artists that are coming out. Mm-hmm. How do you feel it's evolved? Like what's going on, the movement right now, modern soul movement, all that. How do you guys feel it's evolving and growing?
I've had the privilege and the honor to have managed and worked with two amazing vocalists, Elvia Cadena and Brittany Nicole. At the time, I was working with Mr. Charlie Perez at Round Two Entertainment, and it was a privilege and an honor and just a joy to work with both of them. You know, Elvia first came to my radio station, and she was introduced to me, and I fell in love with her from the very get-go. You know, fell in love with her. I said, oh my gosh. And I called Charlie. I said, Charlie, oh my gosh, you need to listen to this woman. She's absolutely amazing. She's just so different. Oh, and I just said, we got to grab her. We got to get her, you know?
Yeah.
And then at the time, his band, the Midnight Cruisers, were needing a vocalist. And I said, Richard, I've got a vocalist for you. She's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I said, oh, bring her down. We auditioned her, and she fit right in with us. You know what I mean? Because she's got that homegirl mentality too, a little bit like we do. And she, you know, we do it like with the Midnight Cruisers. We do everything from, you know, Música Mexicana to you know, mostly we started out the group to do oldies, funk, war, Santana for the homies and homegirls. That's what I started my band for in 05. And I said, we'll do little venues and this and that. But it grew into the point where we were opening up for, you know, people like Santana and Malo and people like War. And like I said, I've known Howard since the 90s. So he put me on with the Lowrider Band. And man, I mean, it was a dream come true for me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up there doing shows with these guys, and Shaka Khan's opening up for us, you know? And I'm like, I'm not worthy, you know what I'm saying? But very, very, very blessed. Just a kid from the hood, man, you know.
Well, we're very proud of the artists that are coming out in this Soldies, you know.
Yeah.
We, you know, like Brittany Nicole is another amazing. I love her. We still stay in a lot of contact. Brittany Nicole's up in Northern California.
Hip hop, I don't like the way part of it is going. You know, back in the days, we called it, the fools used to spit, they used to freestyle. They didn't sit there and put auto-tune on and go, wah, 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 wah. No, they spit. And the best ones were the ones that can get down, put the papers aside, and just start, you know, the sky, blah, 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 you know, the wall. And I've seen guys like that, we're just amazed by them, you know, and they put work into their craft. Whereas some of these guys nowadays, good. You know, like, I don't know, it's changed. So I wrap my mind around it and be open-minded. But there's certain things I like and there's certain things I don't. Luckily, my kids, they show me a lot of stuff, and I've heard a lot of good stuff. That's how I found out about people like Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like all the what's in right now with the hip hop scene.
yeah. I don't care about all the dumb beefs and all that, you know. But I just like the ones that could really flow, man. I can't rap myself. I'm just the hook singer, you know. But but you know what I mean? The people. They put me up there with these guys because I was there. I helped.
He's awesome. As far as like the Soldies, I like, you know, you got Michaela Rivera, who's amazing.
She's a little homegirl.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's really doing some great stuff. You got Mariah Avila, who's just another amazing artist. And you know, and I believe that Trish Toledo kind of paved the way for them. And you know, she came out.
I tried to get her to sing with my band because we were friends. You know what I mean? She came out in my. She's one of the models in my album and my CD cover for Barrio Chronicles. My homegirl Shorty brought her along. Hey, this is Trish Toledo. She's a singer before things blew up for her. Boy, yeah, she sings. Yeah, she's good. And she's if you look at my album, my CD cover, she's all me, her, and my daughter's there. Everybody's there. But Trish was there and she helped us out, you know. And I didn't know she was going to blow up like she did. So I gave her a call, and we needed a girl singer at the time too. We were looking for one. I think when we first started looking for one, I don't know. And I asked her, she said, "You know what? Let me see, because I got some things going." And then I never heard from her. And then I was like, I saw her later on. Though, gave her a hard time about it. And I saw her; she blew up. I said, "Well, that's good. That's the reason, you know." But a lot of times, my band, we're like a platform for these young lady singers, you know. And I keep everything in it. I keep everything respectful to these youngsters. You know, I keep everything. I tell the band, hey, this is a business thing. It's not fun loving. Leave the girls alone, you know. And So what we try to provide is give them a nice little platform with our band, because a lot of little record companies look at our band and big ones, and they see what we got going on. So we bring a girl in, and next thing you know, they want to sign them, and then, you know, everything, which is good. I try to ask them if they could roll with us for at least a couple of years till we get another one. And Jade was our first. Jade Winter White was our first female singer, and she went to school with my daughter. She's a few years older than my daughter, and she was fire, man. That girl was fire. She just didn't really want to do it, you know. She had other things for her life, you know what I mean. But boy, if she was up there, I think she'd be up there with the top women R&B singers. Yeah. And
we actually had Alvia. And
Alvia.
She mentioned you. I was like, yeah, I know that is. We're gonna have you on.
Oh, nice.
She mentioned you
know what? We love. I mean, I still love her and Jimmy. Yeah, I love those people. You know what I mean? And you know, we wish nothing but the best for her and her career. And
oh, we back her up 100%. Yeah. You know, I was very sad to have to let her go. You know, because I was manager for a while, and she went to another manager, and it was time to go. You know, it was time to.
She was moving up the ladder.
She was moving up the ladder. No, never. So we support it 100%. Like we support them all. We support every single artist that in that's, you know, female band, whatever it is. We share their things. We support them. We go out to their events. We get a little busy sometimes, and we're not able to go to some of their events, but we support them all 100%.
There's a lot of good youngster singers, even on the men's side too. A lot of good
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey's what's his last name? There's Little Mikey. What's his name? Little Mikey. I think he goes by Little Mikey.
Is that the one that his dad was a great singer too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike. Mikey.
Yeah,
there's
Mikey.
Some good singers out there coming up, and I got nothing but love and nothing but support if they need anything from me, you know?
Yeah, from it. Absolutely. We're there.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's so many new artists coming out, and you know, the beautiful thing about these the beautiful thing is that it's all young people that are like just so passionate about old music. Like that to me is like
music. Yeah.
Wow, like you're cultivating our culture, you're cultivating that music, so that I always say that, like, I'm so grateful for them, because now my son has something to reference to. Not only, you know, now those are gonna be like his oldies now, you know.
But just like kept it going with my oldies band, you know.
Yeah.
We play the oldies, the good old ones, you know what I mean? Back to the 50s, you know?
Yeah.
All the Junior Walker, the All-Stars, all that kind of stuff, right? And in your own way, you're doing the same thing. You're keeping the music alive.
New generation,
by showing other people this music and these artists. You know?
And like Angel Baby's,
we're in the same boat.
Angel Baby's motto, what is it? Oldies forever.
Yeah.
You know? So
good music, and you can't deny it, you know? All the new stuff is always going to come. But the stuff that sticks there and it's gonna keep coming back, it's always like what we're sharing, and it's always gonna be there, I think, because it's a vibe and it strikes a positive chord with people, you know.
For sure, that's so true. I going back to the Gangster and the Mariachi, and you guys are working on new music and all that. I know you mentioned like you would love to travel. Do you have anything coming up where you guys are going to be performing together? Any events you guys have coming up?
Events that we have coming up, we on November 2nd, we have, Richard will be with his band and I'll be with mine on November 2nd. We both have, he has a...
We're doing something with the Naranjeros.
Yeah, car show, and I have a Dia de los Muertos event that Monibee Enterprises puts on every year for Dia de los Muertos to... for the community of Bloomington, Colton, Rialto, for domestic violence, and it's Angela McLean runs the Olive Branch in Bloomington, and it's for mothers and children, and it's a great organization. On the 9th, we'll be at Airy Strong event, which Elvia will be with us there. It's going to be a lot of great events in the city of Colton.
We'll be going on around 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, so we'll be going on. And then on the 16th, we're going to be going with 5-Star Entertainment in Palm Springs. November.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all November. In Palm Springs. in November. So we've got a really busy schedule in November. December, we're gonna kind of like, it's the holidays, and we're gonna kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
we're under new management, and it looks pretty good so far.
Shout out to Star, five star entertainment. Shout out to Star.
They got my boy Ozzy P, and they've been keeping him working, and he's up there singing them falsetto oldies, man, and we're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I think I really feel good about the situation.
So we're hoping that by December we'll have 2 new singles out. Richard's gonna have one called
Shades of Brown.
Oh, Shades of Brown.
That's what I'm gonna be doing with the homie from Chicano Park.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have the Spanish one with that, with
crank them out. Mr. Marie, we're gonna crank them out, baby.
I can't wait to hear them. I can't. I'm super excited about the banda one because when I'm cleaning and I'm like in the zone, I have banda on. Fun fact about me.
Shout out to my boy Joe Truck. He's got the greatest banda that came out of Southern California.
Banda Viento de Oro.
Viento de Oro.
They used to perform. They were the band that used to back up Pepe Aguilar, Joan Sebastian, and Espinosa Paz.
Yes.
Wow, I love Espinosa Paz.
They're the banda of the stars. You know.
Banda of the Stars.
Yeah. So we talked to him actually the other day. What do you think? He goes, let's do it. So coming up. I already did a song. I did a remake with them years ago of Suavecito. We did a banda style because my boy Joe, he likes putting tuba and everything, So we did it. It sounded good, but he's not happy with it. He wants to refine it a little more before we put it out. It came out really good though. Yeah.
And you guys just came out with your new single, Please Don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got the little Chicano style sound.
I love it. I love it. I definitely love it.
Shout out to Hertz Media.
For the video. Yes.
They got down on the video and they picked they said you guys want to do it over there at Placito Olvera. I go, they won't let us do it over there. He goes, I got the hookup. So he hooked it up. They were opening gates for us and everything. They let us do what we wanted.
We had such a great day.
And we ate some delicious tacos.
It was a beautiful. We enjoyed ourselves that day. We had our compadres there.
Shout out to our compadres.
Shout out to compadres that support us 100%. Frank and Marilyn and Joe and Linda and Liz and Dorinda, besitos and
Deandra.
Deandra's our fashion. What do you call them? Our fashion
coordinator?
No, what's her name? Oh my gosh. She's our stylist.
Our stylist.
Yeah, she's our stylist, and she's really hooked us up, has made us look pretty cool on a lot of these videos and some of our performances. Shout out to Deandra. We haven't seen her in a little bit and we missed her, but we're very excited that what we've got coming for the Gangster The Mariachi, Crystal, and we want to thank everybody that has supported us from the very beginning. Yeah. We've got 3 songs out, Querida Carmen, Afraid to Love Me. Have you heard that one yet, Crystal?
No, I just heard Please Don't.
Yeah, that's our latest, but you need to listen to Afraid to Love Me, especially at the end.
Everybody laughs about it.
We laugh because we kind of give each other a hard time at the end of the song. It's a pretty cool.
No, you give me a hard.
Okay, I give him a hard.
Why am I the bad guy all the time?
He's a wacky way. All right. He's a wacky way. So, we just want to thank everybody. Everybody's been so supportive. Our families, from our families to our friends to musicians to promoters, just everybody's been very kind to us, and we're excited. 2025 will be our year.
Yeah, for sure.
It really will be.
What do you guys hope that whoever's listening to your new music coming out as a couple, as the Gangster and the Mariachi, what do you hope that they take from that?
Yes.
From the music, or
from the music that you guys create together?
I wanted to make them happy. I wanted them to feel the positive vibe coming out of it. And I want them to dance and boogie their asses off.
There's a message to every single song. Of course, Querida Carmen, the message is that we want her to come home, and it's a song of faith. And there's a lot of people, and it was so sad, Crystals. There's a lot of families in the same situation as the Lopez family from Norwalk. There's a lot of missing mothers, missing children, missing teenagers, missing. So there's a lot of people that could relate to the song, And "Afraid to Love Me" is I think it's a beautiful song. It's a cute song about, a little soulsy, and there's messages to all our songs. And I hope that from watching us, listening to us, that they can say, you know what, you can be older and still be productive and still be inspirational and still put out good music and still put out good vibes and just have fun with it, You don't have to be 20, 30 years old.
Back in my day, once you turned 30, that was it. You're out. They cut you off, but we're still doing this.
We're still doing. They're
still calling us.
They're still calling. You have like Pepe Marquez that's out there, and
Pepe's been killing it.
Pepe Marquez is out there doing great.
He worked his way up that ladder. Him and Carlos Ian. Shout out to La Cima Records,
absolutely.
Man. Those guys killing it, man. They even did At This Moment, my At This Moment song with me, when I did a remake of Billy Bear and the Beaters' At This Moment. Because on side of being a gangster hook man, I'm a balladeer. That's what I really like to do. I love doing the hooks, don't get me wrong. I love when it comes out going, you know what I mean? But I just love to sing love songs too, you know what I mean? And I belt it out, and I enjoy it.
And shout out to Pepe and Carlos, because I Linda Chicana, it's almost 2 million views on YouTube. Yes. And that's a beautiful song, and I want to thank Pepe. He did that song with me. We did that together, and La Cima Music, Carlos, and it's a beautiful song.
And our people from San Diego, Elder Samuel, and rest in peace, Chunky. They're the writers of that song, so we got to meet them and work things out with them, the original writers. And he's the one that's writing Shades of Brown for me, also.
Wow.
It's a beautiful
we have a
thing being able to meet these people that are so talented and so spiritual and supportive.
We have a very strong indigenous bond with Elder Samuel.
Yeah.
When we got married, he gave us an indigenous blessing also. Wow. He married us with the universe. So he's a very special person in our life.
Then we put Brad and sang and danced to Godzilla.
You know what our first song? That was our first dance as husband and wife. Was we're big Godzilla fans. We love Godzilla. We grew up with Godzilla. I have a collection of Godzilla toys. So we incorporated Godzilla into our wedding. So our first dance was what's it called?
You ever heard Posse on Broadway from Sir Mix-a-Lot?
And
it's got Godzilla.
It's got a Godzilla.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So that was but what we did was Johnny Z, the DJ for us, he at the beginning, he played the Godzilla footsteps. Dun, dun.
Wow.
So everybody's like, hey, where's that coming from? And then he put the roar. Godzilla roar, and then the song came on, so it was really cool. And then we put on these T-shirts that Lenny and
Lenny.
The T-shirts that Lenny and Michelle and Denise made for us. It said Monibee and Rich G, and it had a picture of Godzilla. So it was a great time.
That's so awesome.
We used to have a good.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good time. I think that's super unique, super dope. Definitely, everyone's gonna remember that. That's so cool. That's so cool. I wanted to kind of wrap it up, but my last question to you guys is, for anybody that's listening in, that may be going through something, maybe just watching this to escape whatever problems they have or going through it. Do you guys have anything to encourage somebody that's maybe going through something watching this?
You know what? When I was in the pits with missing my son, and I still miss him. I prayed a lot. I seek the Lord. And I made sure that I was around people that were positive, and I didn't stay down. I got up, and it's not easy. I know. It's not easy getting up when you're down like that. But I've done it a lot of times. And there was a time I thought I was going to be Vicente. I lost everything I had as a young man. And I thought I was going to go out to the beach and drink myself to death and jump in the water. But as I started drinking myself to death, I was feeling good. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm feeling good. I'm a young man. I'm going to be all right. And my parents always taught me, don't stay down. Get up. If you get knocked down, gotta keep getting up. No matter how hard it is to get up, you gotta do it, because there's so much more light at the end of that tunnel that you don't see where you're at. You gotta get up and look for it, and you gotta seek the good Lord and seek the universe in positivity.
You, one of the most, I think that in my case, is that you're never alone. There's always someone to talk to. There's always someone that wants to listen. And you have to be a good listener and listen to people, but not listen to answer because you're already ready to give an answer, but listen because you really want to listen. And there's a lot of lonely people in this world. And the other thing I can say is that you have to care. We have to care about this world. We can sit here and close the shutters on our home and say, okay, this is our home, we're good. But if we don't care about what's going on out there, that bad stuff could come into your home, or one of your children could run into someone that's not a nice person, or whatever it is. We have to care. Got to care about the world. Got to care about each other. We have to be kind to each other.
There's so much hate going on.
There's so much hate.
So much division right now in our country and everywhere, and it's just.
We just gotta love, love, love. And like you said earlier, you don't have to put up with negativity. Separate yourself from what doesn't bring you good vibes. Separate yourself from that. Walk away. Stand up. Never give up.
Do you guys have any last words to say? Anything that you guys want to share? That was beautiful advice. I couldn't agree with you guys more. I feel like how you said, Moni, if we don't care about what's going on over there, it's going to infiltrate our home. It will. It definitely will. Yes. And sometimes people think that it's not important, but they forget that our kids are at school. And, they can be influenced, and that's the scariest thing to me. My son's 13 years old. I'm like, I give it to you raw, bro, because the last thing I need is somebody to come and whisper in your ear and tell you sweet, whether it's homeboys, girls, or whatever. I need you to know what's going on out there. But
that's why
we should care.
That changed my mind about doing what running amok in the hood is. Yeah. My mother came to me crying, and she's like, "Mijo, I don't know if I'm gonna find you dead in an alley or what. The way you're going right now." And I was like, "Hijo." And I was like, and she was crying and looking at me, and I was like, and I had to really, really reflect on where my life was going at the time when I was 17. You know what I mean? I was going down. I was, we were selling drugs, we were running amok in the streets, and my friends were dropping like flies, and I was next, So.
Last words, Mama. We just want to thank everybody Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us and for your support. And we want to thank everybody, all our friends out on Facebook that support us so much. We have so many followers on Facebook and Instagram,
TikTok,
and thank you so much to all because they're important. The people on social media are very important. They're the ones that share your song, share your flyers, share everything. So I want to thank each and every one of them that support us individually and support us as a Gangster The Mariachi, because we couldn't do it without them.
All over the world, too. I get messages from all over the world. And it's a beautiful thing. You get a message from, you had no idea that they were listening to you out in Australia, and like my boy Kozlov in London. And you know what I mean? And I'm hoping to be able to, me and her, be able to travel to these places and see our friends that support us out there. Japan, you know. Yeah.
And shout out to Henry Lozano, who's been a big, huge supporter of us.
We gotta go up there.
Henry Lozano, thank you so much, Henry, for everything. Shout out to everybody. I hope we didn't forget anybody, but Oye Productions and Scott Santos, our producer, you are amazing. Marta Ratoncito, everybody, you know, at Oye Radio. Patron. Mama, I've already told her about Grupo Patron.
Oh, you gotta hear
Tell her.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to sit still when they play. You gotta get up.
We have to get them on. Yeah.
They are the mixture of Chicano and Mexican and bringing it all together.
Coming together. So we talked about doing a thing with them too. Part oldie, part norteño. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get them, Crystal. They're amazing. Yeah, but yes, that's because we just want to thank everybody so much. Everybody. Caesar. Shout out to Caesar Simo.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much. And definitely, I want to plug in your video. It's on YouTube. People can go watch it on YouTube. Please go on their YouTube and stream it. You're on Spotify, all over, right? They can stream your music everywhere.
All digital platforms.
All digital platforms, right?
You can see our individual videos too, some of our stuff.
Oh, no.
Is it dying?
No, no, somebody called. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But they could.
Or in the Rich G and see our videos too. You know.
And that's how you'll find us on Instagram and Facebook too.
Yeah, so they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you both so much for being on episode number 26.
Thank you.
It really has been awesome having you both, getting to know you guys more. I know we just touched base one time on social media, but just getting to connect with you truly has been awesome. Thank you both. Rich G, thank you. It's been an honor to have you guys both on here. But that does conclude episode number 26 here on the Barrio Love OD podcast, and we will definitely catch you.